Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin if you're new here, and on this channel we talk about all things building your dream life and your dream closet. We talk about fashion, beauty, femininity, living a soft life, living a beautiful lifestyle, romanticizing your life. And so if that sounds like a community that you're interested in joining, please feel free to click the subscribe button down below. I am so happy to have you joining our little family here on YouTube. And this video is just gonna be a lot more of a casual one. I like to do these maybe twice a year, just sort of doing makeup, doing my, most favorite, most current makeup style, and then also answering some questions. So I did post on my Instagram stories yesterday asking if you guys had any questions, because I haven't really checked in with my followers in a little while, and there actually are quite a few new faces across my different social media channels, so thank you to everyone that asked questions. To start, I know I've talked about this a million times on my channel. It's basically the only sunscreen that I really use on this channel or before doing makeup or anything, and this is the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen. And as always, everything that I talk about in this video will be linked in the description box down below, including this dress. It's from Love & Lemons, and honestly maybe they don't make it anymore, so I'll link something similar, but I will definitely be linking this choker necklace. It's from a women-owned sort of smaller company called Crafter Day. But the first question that I wanted to answer today is a simple one, and it is, what is Mahina and how do you pronounce it? Which is a great question because I know it's kind of an unusual name to see floating around the internet, and Mahina is how you pronounce it. That is actually my middle name. Next up, I'm gonna be combining my Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer with my super crazy decrepit looking Dior Backstage foundation, and I did talk about this combo a little bit in the last makeup video that I filmed, which was how to do cloud skin while talking about girly things. It was really fun to film that, so I'll link that up above if you haven't seen it already. I like both of these base products a lot. I really like the Dior Backstage foundation in particular, and I like the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer. I have had this tube for years. It lasts so long, but I think I should not have picked up the oil-free version because I do have dry skin, so on its own the finish is a little bit strange, which is why I combine these. I did recently pick up the YSL tinted moisturizer. I haven't finished using these up yet, so I'll start using that when I'm done with these, and I'll let you guys know what I think. But anyway, my middle name, Mahina. So if you are newer here, you might not know that I'm actually originally from Hawaii. And when I say from Hawaii, I mean legitimately born and raised there. I feel like there's a lot of people that have military connections that I've met throughout my life that were like, oh yeah, I lived in Hawaii for like a couple of years, or oh yeah, I went to college in Hawaii or something like that. Yes, I was born in Hawaii because of my parents' military connection, but my dad, who was in the military, got out of the military and then stayed there. So I was born in Hawaii, went to school there from elementary school all the way through graduating high school, and my family did not end up moving to Montana until after my first semester of college. And so when I say I'm from Hawaii, like actually from there, and my parents decided to give my brothers and I, we all got Hawaiian middle names. I'm not gonna tell you what theirs are because that's personal, but Mahina is the name that they chose for me, and in Hawaiian it means moonlight, which I just love that middle name. I'm super grateful to have that middle name because it's very unique, and I obviously feel very, very connected to the moon. I have my entire life, and I think that's total sidebar why I've had such a sort of spiritual journey over the last couple of years, because I love nature. I feel very connected to the seasons and the phases of the moon and all those things, and feminine energy, and I've talked about that a lot of times on my channel. So I think there's a playlist somewhere called like Romanticizing Life, where in some of those videos I get into my spirituality a little bit. Probably do a whole other video on that some other time. Next up, going in with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, all-time favorite. Everyone loves this for good reason, and I have mentioned this before on my channel, but I am somewhat acne prone. Luckily, it's been a lot better lately than it has been in previous years, and my philosophy when it comes to covering up blemishes on my face is that less is definitely more, and unfortunately pretty much all of these blemishes on my face are self-inflicted, unfortunately. I've kind of had a very busy, somewhat stressful last couple of weeks, and I used to break out predominantly because I was consuming dairy, and it's taken me years and years of trial and error and denial, honestly, to finally admit to myself that eating dairy is not worth the horrible, flaky, cystic breakouts that it gives me. And so definitely have strayed away from dairy, but because of my stressful week that I've been having, another bad habit of mine that I thought I had broken until I found myself doing it is picking at things on my face that aren't really breakouts. I just find these like little under the skin white bumps that are pretty much invisible to the naked eye, and I just find a way to destroy them and then leave these scars and marks on my face. So kind of disappointed in myself that I've done that, but you know, such is life. So you can still kind of see my imperfections showing through under my skin, but I would much rather have a more light coverage, natural base that lets my freckles and my skin show through and lets my skin breathe than something that's really caked on, but technically my acne is like fully covered. So you know what, I've learned that most people are not looking at your skin as close up and in depth as you are, so just let your skin breathe. It just feels so much better and it will help your acne clear up. So top tip. I think my camera cut out, so I already started doing this step, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Wax, not dip brow pomade. And I was saying that I feel like a lot of the base products like eyebrows and, you know, skin and mascara, the stuff that I use on my social media channels stays the same like month after month, year after year. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I keep trying other things and then going back to stuff that I love. And I feel like that's really a testament to these products that I just keep going back to them over and over again. But I started answering this question, which is, how is your 2023 going so far? Which I feel like is a great question because I post pretty often on my YouTube about how I'm going after my goals, and like I do all these mindset videos talking about how to level up and, you know, improve yourself and be the best version of yourself and all that stuff, because that is something that I really am very passionate about, especially starting in 2023. I've been on this journey of, you know, going after my goals in a sustainable way, like, you know, no excuses, becoming the best version of myself through a mix of like concrete, actionable steps, and through a mix of, you know, perfecting my mindset and working on manifesting and all of these things. Honestly, these first 6 months of 2023 have been a series of ups and downs, but I can confidently say that it already has been the best year of my life. There were some moments in these first 6 months of 2023 when I would not agree with that statement. I've been through, you know, triumphs and heartbreaks and surprises and successes and disappointments and all of these things. And yeah, I will say it's been the best year of my life, but I'm not gonna give too much detail on that because some of it is like very exciting up and coming stuff. And a lot of what I wanna say are topics that I'm gonna be talking about in the future. I have been doing my best to every month do a new like mindset video topics. 2023, if I had to sum it up so far, I would say it's been so much learning and so much trial and error, but not like the painful learning and trial and error where like you're miserably failing and learning hard lessons. That was kind of 2022 for me. Truly the lows in 2022 were very low. I got a divorce, I entered another relationship post-divorce and had my heart broken into a million pieces, which was more a reflection of me than the person that ended the relationship, and just all of these things. And I feel like I really have taken those lessons from 2022, even though I'm still up leveling and learning in 2023. It's been like less painful and more successful. And you know, here's just an example. When I made my first YouTube video of this year, which was how I'm gonna have the best year of my life in 2023, one of my goals that I didn't talk about then, but I'll talk about now, is that by the end of 2023, I wanted to become a part-time content creator, part-time at my 9-to-5 job. And I managed to pull that off by the beginning of May of this year. So I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I am part-time content creator, part-time working somewhere else, which for me was a huge success because I was trying to do that by December, and I pulled it off by the beginning of May. So about 4.5 months into the year. And so I'm sure you can guess, but the next step after being part-time on the internet is being full-time on the internet. And that's something that I feel a little bit delusional sometimes talking about it and wanting that and doing everything I can to make it real. But that was my biggest goal of 2023, and I achieved it by May. But then again, my fitness hasn't been exactly what I want it to be, but I feel like I'm on a good track now. And my relationship stuff has been unexpected and interesting and all these other things. And so stay tuned, subscribe down below, and watch this space because I will be talking about all of it at some point in time. So thanks for asking how my year has been, and stay tuned because I think a lot of the lessons that I've learned will help you as well. This next product is a sculpting face stick in copper from OG Organics, and I was gifted this product by OG Organics like right before I got a divorce last year. Ooh, that's a lot. Oh well, it's kind of cool toned enough on my fair skin that it doesn't really bother me if I put too much on. I already applied on this side because I'm actually filming a short form video at the same time as doing this YouTube video, so the more you know, some behind the scenes action there. I do really like this OG Beauty sculpting stick, this bronzer, because it's cream and because it's cool toned on me. As you can tell, even on my fair skin, this side I've already applied, like I do get a little bit of a contour. Maybe you won't be able to tell on camera because of how intense this lighting is, but it's not too much on my super fair skin, and I like contour, but I'm not like a die-hard contour girl. I just think, especially in the summertime, it is nice to sort of give your face that extra definition, especially if you have like your hair up, and you know, I am slightly more tan in the summer than in the other months of the year, and so why not embrace it and get out the bronzing products. I'm gonna put more on this side of my face because I feel like I went kind of soft on this side of my face compared to the other one. But anyway, the next question I've been expecting for a little while, especially for my newer viewers. Looking at it over here on my phone, it says, I'm confused, what's your living situation in the woods with your family? Seems unusual. And yes, to both. Yes, I live in the woods, and yes, I live with my family. Let's do living with my family because I feel like that's a bit more relatable. So living with my family has been a blessing. It has been unexpected, and it's had its challenges just like anyone else living with their family, or if you've ever lived with your family, even as like a 17, 18-year-old, you know that it's got its ups and downs. Next up, another OG Beauty product. I just like the way that this blush and the bronzing stick kind of have tones that go together well. And this blush tone, I don't really know how to describe it super well. I'm not great at describing product colors, but it's like this nice sort of browny, rosy, like it warms up your face, but not in like a 90s matte brown rose blush way. And like I said, it just goes really well with the bronzer shade. But anyway, living with my family, this was a pretty big transition for me, and one of the biggest reasons for that is because, as I've mentioned, I was married once before and we had our own house. Some of the OG subscribers of you guys will know that I kind of started off my channel on the basis of talking about military wife stuff, and that's because I just was testing out YouTube and I wanted to talk about things that I knew well in order to sort of learn how to do YouTube, and military wife stuff is relevant, it gets views, it was easy for me to talk about, so it was a great thing for me to go ahead and get started with. And so as a military spouse, we had our own house on base, which you would have seen if you were subscribed to my channel at the time or were following me on any of my social media channels at the time. And it's just such a jarring transition. I hope none of you have been through this, where you have your own house, like you have your own partner, spouse, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and then for whatever reason you have to move back in with your parents. I feel like actually that was an experience that a lot of people went through, like during the pandemic. That was pretty common. I love my family. I have a very close relationship with my family, and me moving in with them has benefited not only me, obviously, because I get to be with them, and it was really great when I was healing from, you know, the trauma truly of my divorce, and, you know, they helped me put myself back together. Obviously, I pay rent. It is not as much as it would be if I was paying rent, you know, in town. In the town where I live, rent has just gone through the roof. It is more than my parents' mortgage to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in the small town that I live in, which did not used to be the case. And so my parents were super generous in letting me stay with them, and it has benefited them because, yes, I live in the woods. So to tie that conversation in, my parents own quite a bit of land in the middle of the woods in Montana. It is so beautiful to live here. We are so grateful to live here. You just can't get a living experience like this anymore, and this might open up the can of worms of, you know, my family's financial status and all that stuff, but my parents have done very well in life. They've worked very hard, and honestly, they got kind of lucky with buying this property at the right time, like right before this location where we live really just blew up in like 2020, 2021. We moved here in 2016, and my parents, like I said, got very, very lucky with hitting the market at the right time. And so living in the woods is beautiful, it's fun, it's awesome. It's obviously a huge basis for what my content style has become, but there are a lot more things and task items to do when living in a place like where we live. And so that has been the benefit of my parents, or my parents have benefited from me being home, because there's just so many things to manage on this property. There's so many moving parts, there's so many projects going on at any given time. Some of them are like recurring seasonal things. Some of them are exciting new developments, like building projects that are happening on this property, which I'm gonna keep a little bit hush hush because that is gonna be a huge surprise and awesome part of my content next year, which I'm very, 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 very grateful for and excited about. I'm sure you guys can figure out what it is based on what I just told you. There's like roads to be plowed, roads to be maintained, animals to be taken care of, yard work to do, builders and people to receive and give instructions to when they come to the house. There are horses to be taken care of, actually just one horse to be taken care of. My mom has a horse. He does not live on the property yet, but she spends a lot of time traveling to go be with him during the week, so then I'm home and I get to be home with the dogs and take care of them, because we have two very, very, very active dogs that need multiple walks in a day. We have, you know, mail that needs to be intercepted because we live somewhere so rural that the mailman doesn't always get the packages to us, and that's just scratching the surface of like firewood to be split and tractors to be maintained and vehicles to be maintained and snow tires to switch on and switch off. And it is a lifestyle that we never really, I feel like most people in America do not have experiences with this, with living in a place where you have to be so intensely involved with maintaining where you live, maintaining your things, keeping on top of things, seasonal chores. You know, there's things to be burned in the fall and seeds to be planted in the spring and gardens to be watered. There's just so much going on. Like, there is a never-ending task list in this home, and my parents have been very vocal about the fact that because I'm here, I can help them and it benefits them as well. And that is why I don't really feel any shame about living with my family, because there's plenty of space here. Next up is my new favorite highlighter. It is a Merit highlighter in the color Citrine. I don't know if they have more highlighter formulations than just this one, but it is a creamy sort of dewy balm highlight. And I've tried plenty of cream highlights before, but something about this one I like so much because it gives you the perfect balance of like that wet highlight look, like that sort of dewy, juicy summer highlight, but there's also enough shimmer in it, like just a touch of shimmer, that it's like the best of both worlds between like a, you know, 2016 glittery highlight and like a 2021 or 2022 like wet skin look highlight. And every time that I wear this highlight, people stop me and say, what did you do differently to your skin? Like, what is your skincare routine? Whether it's customers at my job or, you know, friends and other coworkers at my job or my family, like people, whenever I wear this, they're like, what have you been eating or drinking or doing? Or like, what's on your face? Because you look so glowy and so good. You can kind of see the shimmer in it, but it's not like that stripe of highlighter shimmer that people used to do with like those really glittery highlights back in the day, but it just looks like juicy and dewy and wet. Like, it truly just looks like I have incredible skin, which I'm grateful for where my skin is at currently, but this just is like the perfect, it's like icing on a cake. Like, I truly just feel so amazing. But anyway, it's been really great for my content because my sort of content aesthetic anyway is this very naturey, whimsical, princess-like feminine content. I have loved being able to just literally walk outside, walk like 30 feet, and there's this amazing background for me to take photos and videos in. It has made shooting content so much easier in order to like actually stay consistent every single day in order to move towards being a full-time content creator again. It's very important for me to be consistent on my short form content, and if all I have to do is walk outside, like I don't have to drive anywhere, I love that and I'm super grateful for it. And I know it's a little bit unusual and I get a lot of questions about it, but most of the places that I shoot, actually all of the places that I've been shooting lately, have been on my parents' property. And that's just because I am so pressed for time with everything in my life, workouts, family, you know, my 6-hour-a-day job at my normal job, my content creation, you know, mental health, getting 8 hours of sleep, all that. I just haven't had time to travel to some of the more like gorgeous places near where I live because they're like an hour away. Next up, I'm about to get really close to you to use my Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brow Micro Precision Tinted Brow Gel. And I already put a little bit in because I had to for the reel that I'm filming, but I love this. I have had my eyebrows microbladed before. I did a whole video on like what I've had done to my face and I talked about my microblading. It's still there, but it's a little bit faded, and I really like this stuff because the Anastasia brow freeze wax can be kind of wet, and like my eyebrows will stick up after I use it and then kind of droop back down, but this is a much more dry formula and I am just obsessed with how tiny this wand is. And so I just kind of do enough to give my brows a little bit of color to help the brow wax sort of stay up a little bit. And I'm just so over the like really drawn in pencil eyebrows look. I don't use this stuff every day because my bushier brow look when I use this can be kind of a lot for my face, but I definitely use it every time I take photos or shoot content because I found that having more pronounced brows on my face just shows up better on camera. In real life, it can sometimes look like a lot, but you know, not like bad, not like a bad look. It's just I have a lot of like large features on my face. But the next question is actually not a question, it's super sweet. It was, no question, but I've been loving your content lately, what changed? And I think I kind of covered that already, but I moved from Southern California post-divorce to Montana, where I can just walk outside and create amazing content. And I think with my content, I spent like the first 3 years, because I started creating content in 2020, actually at the very end of 2019, but I don't really count that because I was like experimenting so much with YouTube. But I didn't start fully seriously creating content until 2020. And it literally took 2020, 2021, and 2022 of like trial and error. I wasn't like this overnight success. I still wouldn't call myself necessarily exactly where I want to be, but I was following trends for these first 3 years. I was kind of like doing what everyone else was doing. I was kind of not very happy in my personal life either, and I do feel like that manifested itself in content that just didn't feel genuine to me. And also I feel like a huge part of it has clearly been moving to Montana, where I can just embrace nature and my femininity and create content that makes me happy, and it's, you know, more cottagecore, mostly because of the location that I've been shooting in. I feel so happy and at peace and full of feminine energy and just feeling radiant in Montana. And I feel like that, combined with finding my style, which was fully embracing the super feminine, over the top princess core look, like those things combined have just exploded my creativeness, I guess, to a point where I just feel so proud and happy with every single thing I post, which is not the case and has not been the case ever until this year, like this spring really, when I went part-time creator like around April, May time, and I started shooting a lot on my Instagram again. I was doing all those like pink outfits and I did blue, and I just feel like it's been this beautiful combination of getting really comfortable with myself and loving feminine fashion unapologetically and being over the top unapologetically. I've got this beautiful place to shoot, and I just really feel like what I'm doing on social media is something that not a lot of people are doing. I feel like you're either the nature girly or you're the princess core girly, but you're not both. I don't know, I'm just really happy with what I'm creating and I feel so proud of myself. Next up is brown mascara. This is the Lancome Definicils mascara, and I am 100% on the brown mascara train that has been sweeping the internet lately. I only wear black mascara these days if I have black in my outfit because it just feels too intense on my face and it looks too done. But I do think there's something to be said about having black in your outfit and then black on your eyelashes, and it just works. I don't know, maybe that seems like weirdly OCD. Okay. A lot of Montana questions, guys. This next one says, are you still loving Montana? Do you see yourself leaving ever, or or. I feel like that's something that like Gen Z says, like they just end their sentences with or. But anyway, yes, I feel like I've answered this a million different ways in this video. I don't see myself leaving Montana. I have been super lucky to live in some of the most sought after places in the United States. And if not the most sought after places, like the most sought after environments, I guess you could say. So obviously born and raised in Hawaii. I went to college in New York, about an hour away by train ride from Manhattan. And I actually got to live in Manhattan for 6 months because that's what I thought I wanted to do with my life. I thought I wanted to live in Manhattan and be a fashion girly. I studied fashion merchandising as my major in college. Wow, this is, can you see up my nose? This is so up close and personal, but I love this mascara because yes, I am gifted with beautiful long curly lashes anyway, but I just really like the fact that it just lengthens them without thickening them, because I don't always love the clumpy mascara look on me. I love the sort of more clean and defined eyelash on me, which I think that's why this is called Definicils, but a big fan of this mascara. I do not put any mascara on my bottom lashes because I think that just looks really, really done, especially in the summertime. And I don't even remember if this is waterproof. But anyway, I've gotten to live in Manhattan, which I liked for 6 months, but I could never do full time. I'm glad that I had that experience so that I never ended up moving there and then like seriously regretting it or something. And also it's probably a good idea because if I had moved to Manhattan, I would have been living there during the pandemic, which was just a huge no-go. And then where else have I lived? I lived close to Washington, DC, about like an hour, hour and a half drive from Washington, DC, which I really love that city, but again, just not for me. I've learned that the city life is just not for me. So that was when I was living in Virginia, which was like really cute, East Coasty kind of historic area. I lived close to Fredericksburg, if you guys are familiar with that. I had family that lived in like the Chesapeake Bay area, liked that but didn't love it. And I have lived in Southern California, which obviously so many people idolize Southern California. I lived in Oceanside, so I was able to visit LA all the time. I was able to do a ton of stuff in like the San Diego area. Liked it, didn't love it, and I have lived in Montana off and on since 2016, and mountain life is for me. I don't see myself wanting to go anywhere else. It would take one heck of a something, I don't know, for me to want to move, because Montana in my eyes is just perfect. It's not for everyone. The winter is long and cold and dark and regularly in the single digits or negative digits when it comes to temperature. There was like 3 weeks at a time where the sun didn't come out. That was rough. I know it is not for everyone. It is a very, very intense, naturey place to live. If you are not outdoors having outdoor recreational activities, hiking, mountain biking, swimming, paddleboarding, you know, skiing, snowboarding, whatever in the winter, ice skating, you're just gonna be inside all the time. So if you're not into nature, you're not into the cold, you don't like rugged lifestyles, there's no big cities where I live, so the shopping is okay. You know, I live 20 minutes away from the closest grocery store, at best closer to 25 or 30. For me, that lifestyle is awesome. I love it here, capital L-O-V-E. I love the seasonality, I love the beauty, I love the peace, I love the privacy, I love the people, I love the outdoor lifestyle, I love getting out there and getting dirty and hiking and getting sweaty and getting in water that's really cold. I love the cold, I love the snow, I love the winter. It gets rough, but I'm not leaving Montana. It would take something very serious for me to leave, and I would only leave willingly with the knowledge that I would be coming back after like a short amount of time, because I feel so alive here, but also so at peace and so happy, and I just feel like I am 100% myself and my best version of myself when I'm here. And I hope wherever it is that you live, you find a spot like that for you as well. Okay, so getting close to the end here, I'm gonna use my Urban Decay setting spray, all-nighter setting spray. This is a classic, we all know about it, and I use this every single time I do my makeup because I have a full shooting day ahead of me, and pretty much if I'm gonna go through the effort of putting on makeup, it means that I'm gonna be wearing it for most of the day. And so this stuff is just, I haven't found a setting spray that I prefer. This is probably gonna be such a cute little angle. Ready? Was that like commercial worthy? Urban Decay, sponsor me. I put on my lip product and the camera was not recording. I feel like I'm a new YouTuber all over again, but this is the Merit Lip Oil in the shade Marrakech, and I love this stuff because it is exactly as it's described. It is a lip oil, and so it gives that glossy feel, but my problem that I have with a lot of lip glosses is they're not long wearing in the sense that as they dry down, they leave like that goopy, sticky, like weird stuff like in the middle of your mouth, and it just like makes your lips look absolutely terrible. And so I really like this stuff because as it dries down, it just kind of like leaves the color, but like not the weird flaky things on your skin. So really would recommend this if you're looking for like a summer lip oil or lip gloss that is not sticky and just looks beautiful. This color also I feel like just really complements like the shade of the OG Beauty blush. But anyways, yes, my style has changed quite a bit, and I used to feel embarrassed like when looking back at old content and being like, who is that girl? Like, no wonder no one followed me, no wonder no one liked my content. But you know what? I was doing my best, and I didn't have an unlimited budget. I was still easily swayed by trends and by other people because I didn't really know who I was, and honestly what it took for me to find my style and for me to really feel like the best version of myself and to love my closet and to love my outfits and to present that best version of myself on social media was learning who I am as a person outside of fashion and learning what my interests were and what brought me to life and lit me up outside of fashion. And then inevitably that sort of translated to and led me to realizing that I am a feminine woman. I am a girly girl. I love dressing in a feminine way. I love dressing like a princess, like a fairy, mermaid core, cottage core, English countryside, Studio Ghibli meets Disney princess meets, you know, all these other things, but still kind of high fashion and still liking my designer pieces. And that took a lot of self-discovery of me as a person. And so if you look at my content and then you look at your own style and you're like, oh, like she has this amazing closet, like she always looks X, Y, and Z, because I get those comments and I get those messages of you guys being really hard on yourselves and being like, I wish I had your closet, can you give me your clothes? Find yourself first and who you are as a person, and then trust me, one way or another, you will start getting drawn to things and styles and outfits and looks and designers and brands that really feel like you. And whether you're buying things that are on the pricier end or you're finding dupes for them that you like, you know, on Amazon, for example, you will feel so much happier when you are dressing like yourself and not wearing what social media is telling you to wear. And another huge one was not feeling like I have to wear what people where I live are wearing. That is a mouthful. And even in Montana, I'm always overdressed. People here wear flannels and cargos and flip-flops or Tevas, or in the winter they're wearing, you know, just a bunch of layers and beanies. Perfect, awesome, yeah, not trying to make fun of anyone's style. But once you let go of the desire to kind of look like everyone else, you are gonna feel like the best version of yourself, and you will glow, and you will have a wardrobe that you're happy with and all that good stuff. That is the end of this video. Whew. Yeah, that was kind of a chatty one, but I feel like we have caught up since the last time I did a big catch up with you guys, closer to when I first moved back to Montana. I think I did that video like last September, last October, and I haven't really caught up with you guys since, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave that in the comments down below or message me over on my Instagram, because that's where I feel like I am the most connected to you guys and chatty with you guys about answering questions and all that stuff. So thanks for watching to the end. I really appreciate you guys. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.